I call this Village of Greenhills regular council meeting for July 24th, 2019 to order. Clerk, call the roll.
Ms. Hermes?
Here.
Mr. Lee?
Here.
Mr. Dries?
Here.
Mr. Halter?
Here.
And Mayor Moore.
Here. Okay. I have a prayer by Mr. Halter.
Dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this opportunity to serve our community. We pray that you would help us to do a good job in that. We also lift up those that have lost loved ones and those that have been a big part of this community recently, and also those that are sick, especially Kathy Lives as she recovers in the hospital. Help us to make wise decisions. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
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 I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, this is the time for citizens to comment on matters before council. When recognized, please come forward to the lectern, give your name and address, and then state your comments or questions. This is not intended to be a dialogue with council or village staff. If you have questions, the questions will be recorded and referred to the manager's office for response. This will allow time for thoughtful and thorough consideration to be given to each question. Council meetings are recorded for ease of transcription. Comments are limited to 3 minutes. And I know we have Monique signed in already.
Hello, I'm going to be Casey Halter, 154 Greenhills. At the April 24th meeting, council members discussed Ohio House Bill 478, the Small Cells Expansion Act, and the possibility of 4G and 5G small cell towers being installed in the village. This law goes into effect next week. It severely restricts municipalities from stopping the installation of small cell towers and related wireless infrastructure in residential yards, public rights-of-ways, etc. Small cell towers have already been installed in nearby communities. Some are in residential yards. At the May 27th meeting, I spoke about this in a petition I started. Many residents don't want this infrastructure here. In my neighborhood, there are over 40 homes represented so far. We are asking that council tell companies that we don't want this infrastructure installed in our homes. Since 2004, the International Association of Firefighters has opposed the use of fire stations as base stations for towers and antennas until it's proven they aren't hazardous to the health of members. Decades of research has already proven cell towers and other wireless infrastructure and devices are hazardous biologically and environmentally. In November 2016, toxicology professor Dr. Michael Darson, UC College of Medicine, and I spoke about this here at a council meeting. Since then, I have been sending information to the law committee about what we discussed as well as steps taken by other communities, including Greenbelt, Maryland. Although council has been discussing the possibility of small cell towers being installed here, many residents don't attend or watch meetings. I am asking that this information be included in Ms. Korak's municipal blog, as well as other publications created by employees for residents. There are federal bills still being discussed that will also eliminate municipal control over cell tower placement. S3157, the Streamline Act, is being voted on tomorrow. According to Ohio House Bill 478, it seems wireless and cable companies are required to bury most of this equipment in communities that have underground utilities. I would like to know wireless and cable companies are ever allowed to install this small cell tower infrastructure above ground or below without filing applications with the village first. This infrastructure is hazardous, regardless of whether it is above ground or below. We don't want it in our neighborhood. Thank you.
Teresa Owen, 145 Greenhills. I'm here to agree with Monique and everything that she has to say. And in the event that we have no say and this comes forward, how do I keep this out of my backyard? I have a telephone pole right in my backyard, and I don't want it sitting right above my home. So I need suggestions or ideas on how to keep this from just coming right on top of me. And I appreciate anything that you have to offer. Thank you.
Hello. My name's Keith Owen, small lawyer. I live at 145 Junefield. I just wanted to stress to everyone concerned that this represents a extreme danger to anything living. It doesn't just even affect people, it affects animals. Very dangerous. I've got a DVD here that really thoroughly explains it. If you want, anybody would care to want this, you can have it. I think if more people in this town fully understood how dangerous this actually is, and I don't want to say clueless, but people are clueless. They don't understand how dangerous this is. Just so we can have a little faster speed on our internet, really? I just think it's a danger. And a whole lot of other people think so too.
Thank you. Have you guys signed in and have contact information?
I didn't put my contact information. I mean, I can put a phone number down.
Yeah, you might as well. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go
That'd
ahead
be
and put
great.
your phone number on the sign-in sheet and someone will
It's
contact
not here
you.
anymore.
Oh,
Oh, so I take it, I'm sorry.
Oh, there it is. Said, do you want, I can make more
I'll
copies
take-
available
I'll take
too,
that.
if anybody wants it. It's a little long, but it's 3 different
thank you.
YouTube videos I put together. Some people don't want to read through much paperwork, some people just want to watch a video. I thought that would make it easier.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate your time listening to us, though. As I said, though, I think more people would be here if they understood how serious this really was. Got it? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Rob Howell at 34 Damon, and I've got a comment and a suggestion. The comment would be regarding medical marijuana, would be that I'd suggest that you just kind of do nothing right now. Don't kind of rush to judgment or panic over what might happen or what could happen. I've got friends out in Colorado, and there's a lot of good things that are happening with medical marijuana and helping people. So, and then my suggestion would be to form a committee, maybe around community development, I know money's tight, but rather than only think about how you can cut costs, think about a resolution to form a committee on how you could generate new revenue in the city or in the village, but leave it open so that we can take a look at the entire community. The park back here where the golf course is, I think just as an example, that might lend itself to a corporate wellness type environment. And if you took that approach, the funding could come from one of the 3 big hospitals. They're flush with money, and then tie it in with Bondahar's Catering to put a healthy menu together. It could be a team building thing. That's just one idea, but I think if you sit down and open this up to the community members, some good things might happen. So that's it. Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
May I add something for 5 seconds? I forgot about the medical marijuana. Some people don't know too that you can't get high from medical marijuana. A lot of people, when they hear marijuana, they think, oh, you're just people want to get high. And that's
Okay.
I want this to go to the clerk or to the acting law director for reference.
Good evening, my name is Patty Angela, and I reside at 32 Chalmers Lane. I've been a taxpayer in the village of Greenhills for the last 42 years. And I will say I agree wholeheartedly with Ms. Monique and Mr. Howell and the other speakers that there are some issues here that the village needs to be paying closer attention to. I think Mr. Howell's suggestion is very well thought out, and I think that it would benefit the community if we had more citizen involvement without oversight or iron fist of the village trying to steer whatever it is that their agenda might be. I've just turned over a copy of 3 different ordinances. One is 112526, 112527 from the codes of the Village of Greenhills. One is for outdoor storage in residential areas, one's for junk storage. Anyone who's driven by 30 Chalmers Lane since Mr. Eikert has rented to his newest residence can be astonished at the amount of crap that can be in the front yard, moving toys, air conditioners, vacuum cleaners, gas cans, just junk stuff. There's not one sign of any kind of lawn furniture that has to do with normal porches. So the front yard and the garbage area is streaming with all kinds of amenities. It says here outdoor storage of materials in a residential district in the front yard for more than 48 hours shall be located behind the front building line of the dwelling and shall be stored in an orderly manner. Shall remain free of stagnant water and vermin. Let's get on that. The backyard has a picnic table with a gallon of Roundup sitting there with a sprayer with toddlers that live there. Junk storage, if you go to the last part of it, it says other junk and debris is prohibited except when stored within a completely enclosed building or structure. The last code I want to refer to is 112518, which is regulations for parking. If you go down to D, a solid fence or wall 4 to 6 feet high shall be constructed, not may be constructed, shall be constructed where any off-street parking area is located adjacent to a dwelling unit or any residential or zoning parcel of land. The village happens to have a 35-space parking lot adjoining my land, and there's been a decrepit split rail fence there for many years. Initially, when permission was given for them to put a fence there was an agreement that would also be evergreen plantings. Those evergreen plantings died decades ago. I'm asking for them to be replaced. It says an evergreen hedge maintained in good condition may be substituted for required fence or wall provided that the evergreen hedge provides an opaque, which means unseen,
Time's up.
to prevent the glare of headlights. And I'm asking the village to get on that as well. Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, hearing none. I got carried away wanting to hear from everybody and forgot to have the approval of the minutes. So we'll jump back to that.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve the minutes of the tax budget public hearing of June 12th, the regular council meeting of June 26th, and the special council meeting of July 17th, all 2018.
Anybody have any corrections? Hearing none, the minutes are approved. Okay, reports of village officials, municipal manager Yvonne Kovac.
Thank you, Mayor. Have a number of things I want to report on tonight. First of all, you probably noticed that most of our road repairs that we started just a couple weeks ago have been completed. They'll be working on the punch list in case there are any items that were left undone. So it's basically completed. And also, I wanted to draw your attention to the fact that there's an item on your agenda tonight also for additional road repairs that I mentioned the last time that will take advantage of the bid that Waterworks obtained for the water main project that will start later this year and utilize them to complete the pavement. They would be scheduled to only pave a portion of the street where we want the complete streets to be paved. So that item's on your agenda tonight. Wanted to mention that Duke Energy again, this happened about 2 years ago when they contracted with a company called Southern Cross Incorporated to inspect gas meters. So residents, if you haven't received a letter already on that, you will be. It'll occur during the months of August and September again to inspect lines associated with your gas meters. So be aware that that is coming. Okay, the golf course, we have unfortunately rather quickly lost the individual that he had to leave town for personal reasons and had to resign. So we are again without somebody to maintain the golf course. We are working to try to hire somebody. We have 3 potential candidates. One of them unfortunately didn't show up today. So we'll keep working away on that. Yeah, that's right, it's down to 2. Also having some issues with the equipment. We spent about $2,200 on one of the mowers 2 weeks ago, and now the other one is having an issue as well. So, but just know that we're continuing to work on that as quickly as possible to try to get somebody else in place as quickly as possible. The service department is still down a person, so it's going to take its toll real soon. Which kind of takes me to the next item that I want to talk about is that's simply some straight-up gardening work that we're not able to get to very quickly. And what I'd like to do in the interim is utilize an existing employee who's willing to do some gardening for us. And what I'll need to do that I can have at our next session is, if you recall the wage agreements that we did for spoils when we have an employee and then they'd be earning at a different rate that we don't want it to impact overtime, stuff like that. I would need to do that for this individual, but I'd like to get him going on some of those gardens as quickly as possible. Shopping center sign status, again, we've had a couple more discussions with the property owner. The sign company's been involved in it a little bit as well, and we are waiting once again on rendering of the site that they would like to see the sign in, to see what that would look like, as well as they're proposing a slightly larger site, even for, should we end up at the site that we want. So we've asked them to provide those design work as soon as possible. I had hoped to have it for tonight, but not. I've been hearing a number of people talking about the change in the start of the school year this year, so I did just want to confirm for council that it is August 20th that school starts, Monday, August 20th. We have had some requests to extend the pool time because of that, but you know that's not a cheap that's not a cheap thing for us to do, unfortunately, because it's, you know, it's probably in excess of about $1,500 a day to keep.
So what's the current plan for the pool?
It would close, it wouldn't close, as of the 13th, it would no longer be open during the week, it would just be open during the weekends through Labor Day.
And that was our original plan,
Correct.
that's what was originally budgeted for?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And that's what our contract has said. So yeah, then we'd be open through weekends through Labor Day. I am really pleased to report that our revenues, thanks to the intense heat that we've had, the pool's been doing quite well this year, so that's a positive for us. I already mentioned the road work. The small access road next to Malloy's, that repair work has been completed. And then I also received just today, I'll pass this around to each of you, a copy of the wording for the police levy is out now. So it does not have the issue number on it yet. The issue deadline is not until, I think, like September 8th, perhaps. And so at that point in time, they'll tell us what the issue number is for.
Thank you.
Thank
Say
you.
that for Maria.
Oh, okay, good idea. Okay, and that is what I have for now.
Can I, restroom update at Malloy's? Is it?
Yes, it is.
100%?
It's open. It is not 100%, but it is open.
Okay.
The contractor has to do some grading work.
And there was some issue with the timing on the lock?
Well, it's unlocked. You
Okay.
know, we've worked out that process. so
Okay.
That's good to go.
A question on the path. I know we opened the pathway to the American Legion for golf carts, correct? And
Correct.
is that done, or is there more that needs to be done
we-
for that?
We had intended to spend more time on it, just haven't had the time. That's why
Okay.
we went ahead
Okay.
and made sure it
But
was
the plan
open
is to
so they could
still-
get through.
Good. Thank you.
And I have one more. The sidewalk X's, I know people are seeing them around. I just thought if we could give some kind of general update about,
The sidewalk program.
yes.
Yes, and that is out to bid right now for us to select a vendor, hopefully at a really good price. And I believe those are due on the 31st of this month.
Great.
And the village is will handle the ones with tree root problems, right?
Correct.
Yep. Okay. Anything
I think
else?
that's what I have right now. Thank you.
All right. Law Director, Mr.
Frank. Sorry, Kevin Frank, filling in for Jeff Forbes
Okay.
this week. Thank you. I don't have a report.
Okay. All right, Acting Clerk of Council, David Lives.
David.
David Lumsden. I'm thinking of Kathy, and
That's
then,
quite all right. Ordinance 2018-04 LNR and resolutions 2018-20, 21, 22, and 23 were all posted as required, and I am flattered.
okay. Chief of Police, Neil Fodelman.
Thanks, Mayor. Between July 5th and July 19th, our supervisors interviewed 22 applicants for our one police officer vacancy. We're extremely careful in selecting the best applicant to be a member of the department and to subsequently serve our community. Of the 22 candidates that we interviewed, 11 were placed in a third tier and will not participate in any further testing. 4 applicants were selected as finalists, and 7 were placed in the second tier. We hope to fulfill the existing vacancy from among the top 4 candidates. Those candidates will be the subject of a rigorous background investigation, and a successful candidate must then complete a polygraph, psychological, and a medical exam, including a drug screen. The remaining successful candidates will be available to fill any other vacancies that occur in the near future, and we'll announce the appointment of the top candidate as soon as he or she is identified. We postponed our bike rodeo until fall. We're going to be working with the schools and setting a new date, and we'll post the information on our website as soon as it is available. If anyone is interested, we would encourage you to call us or contact us through the website. There is a way to do that. The event will include a free bike safety course for children ages 4 through 12. We'll be providing free helmets. There will be a winner of a boys and a girls bicycle, and we're going to have free ice cream for all. And we still plan to reschedule the landing of the Air Care helicopter and have a police canine demonstration. So we hope to have that up and running towards the middle to end of September, or maybe even early October. Closer to us, date-wise, we have National Night Out set for August the 7th, along with free food. This will be in conjunction with the Municipal Manager's Park Talk at the picnic shelter near Malloy's on the Green, and that will be at 6 p.m. on August the 7th. Along with some community volunteers, we'll be grilling dinner for all those who attend. The fire department will be on hand conducting a fire safety demonstration, so we hope that all those listening will mark their calendars and plan to attend. We do have a request for our residents to curb crime, which is to lock your cars. We've had several reports of thieves gaining access to unlocked cars, and nearby jurisdictions are experiencing the very same incidents. This typically involves those looking for easy money. They usually don't target locked vehicles. In the cases in here and in nearby communities, the cars have been ransacked and valuables are taken. It's just a sign of the times that we live in. So, couple words of wisdom, please lock your cars. Don't leave visible valuables out in plain sight. It only takes a minute to lock your car and make it a habit. Telephone scams have continued. In fact, the village office has received a call recently from a concerned resident indicating that someone is using a caller ID identifier to send out scam calls. And the resident receives a call from a telephone number that reads Greenhills, Ohio on the caller ID. He said that it was a woman with an accent and trying to sell him a lower energy rate, claiming that he worked for Dayton Power and Light. The scammers have adapted their technologies to display fake information on caller ID devices. So we alert all our residents to be very alert, never give out personal information such as social security numbers or account numbers to those calling. We're very fortunate that we were provided a laser radar device recently by the Ohio Department of Public Safety. One of our radar devices failed to work and was evaluated for repair. Due to the age of the unit, the cost of repair was going to exceed the cost of a new unit. Since a radar unit costs several $1,000s, we contacted Paul Humphreys, who is our regional law enforcement liaison for the Ohio Department of Public Safety, and we applied for and received a grant from ODPS for a laser radar device, which is a better unit than what we had. So that is a much newer technology than the device it replaced. So we're very grateful to Paul and to the state of Ohio for their assistance in saving our community thousands of dollars and for receiving a device that will help keep our motorists safe. During the month of June, we investigated 6 accidents, down from 8 in June of 2007, 1 Part 1 crime, which is down from 7 last June, 283 other incidents. Of a total of 415 contacts, 201 were dispatched and 214 were self-initiated by our officers. The department provided assistance to the public in 112 instances, assisted other agencies 24 times, made 30 criminal arrests and 20 traffic arrests. I always like to close with a little good news since we typically don't hear that. And there were 2 instances that are of note. On July 5th, a C-section resident wrote the following on Nextdoor Greenhills. Just wanted to say thank you to Greenhills Police for their services to the community. I live next door to a little 95-year-old woman. She has a 3-foot-tall Mother Mary concrete statue that stands in her backyard on a concrete pedestal. She has been here in the community for 50-plus years, and so has the statue. Last night, some vandals decided to knock it down. I physically couldn't pick it up, so I called Greenhills Police, and they came out and picked it up and put it back on the pedestal where it has stood for over 50 years. I know not everyone is religious, which is fine, but please don't go around knocking down others' belongings because you disagree with their lifestyles and beliefs. Anyway, just wanted to say thanks to the police for helping out. Full disclosure, the statue was so heavy it took both Tim Lukes and Tony Patton to get it back on the pedestal. And the next one is the rest of the story. We received a response just after the release of last month's report from a resident, and she wrote, "Thank you for the update. I was part of the May report. My car nearly lost a wheel on Burley Circle when the stud sheared off. I called to be sure it was okay to leave it parked on Burley until I could have it towed. Officer Andy Moore responded, and my first question wasn't about where it was parked. I showed him the broken pieces and asked him if he knew what caused it. He was very patient. I was pretty upset at the time and not thinking clearly. My mom was in hospice at Drake, and I was anxious to return to her. After hearing my conversation with my dad, the officer made a quick call to Lieutenant Ann Ward and then let me know he was able to take me back to Drake. I was so grateful that I could return quickly and that my dad did not have to leave her side. We lost Mom on May 12th, and I treasure every moment that we could spend with her. I imagine many of your calls seem routine, and yet so many have a rest of the story like mine. You touch the community in more ways than you know, and thank you for all that you do." So that concludes my report. Thanks, Mayor.
Chief, comments or questions?
Just, maybe I missed it, National Night Out in the Park Talk, where is that going to be held at?
It'll be at the picnic shelter right next to Malloy's.
Okay, that's what you did say. Thank you.
Okay. Mayor's report. I haven't received the court receipts for the month, so I don't have that to report, but I will make a comment was on an item that was brought up here a few minutes ago concerning the golf course area. And of course, we are struggling with the golf course to be able to keep it running, and it's operating at a loss. But the charter, when it was passed a number of years ago, the Greenhills residents wanted to keep it always a golf course, or at least a green space. So they put it in the charter that it can't be used for anything else other than that. unless the residents vote on it. So I guess if we had a good plan of something, as you were mentioning, that would still have to go to the residents to vote on that to allow a facility of any sort to be built on that property, or the charter would have to be changed, either or. Okay, that's all I have. Committee reports, Community Development, Jeff Holder.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. The first part of my report actually touches on recreation. I wanted to thank everybody involved with Community Day at the pool. I know Jack Lee was hamburger extraordinaire, hamburger flipper extraordinaire, the mayor, Maria, but a lion's share of it goes to Diana and Doug Kohler. Every year they step up. It was really well done. They had the food labeled for the kids, a pirate theme, water balloons that were cannonballs, and they had a cannonball contest. Really good time. Warm weather helped a lot in that. So thank you for everybody that contributed to that and attended. We actually had 2 community development meetings pretty close to each other, one on June 28th, and for the purpose on the second one on July 19th to expedite our new village gateway signs. Again, I want to thank Diana Kohler. She did a really nice job pulling together information of previous signs, fonts that were used, and other pieces that were in the Historical Society archives. That was very helpful, and we're making good progress on that. And that concludes my report.
Comments or questions? Hearing none. Intergovernmental Affairs, Laws and Rules, Jack Lee.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The July meeting was canceled due to scheduling conflicts with staff and the like. So we will take up what issues there are on the agenda on August 27th, which is Monday at 9 a.m. That's it.
Okay. All right. Safety, Melanie Hermes.
Safety Committee meeting, we haven't met since June. We meet every other month. We're meeting again on August 28th at 5:15. And then just a reminder about National Night Out being on August 7th at 6 p.m. at the picnic shelter by the Loys.
Okay. Finance and Audit, Mr. Dries.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Our last meeting was on June 12th, which we finished up a few items for the budget, and then that same evening we had a public hearing for the tax budget. And then on July 17th, there was a special meeting of council. The budget passed council and has now been sent to Hamilton County. I want to thank the interim finance director. We continue to pay our bills and do all the other things that are necessary. And the monthly report that we receive, the financial packet for June was completed. I'm going to mention a few numbers here. On the income tax, we're 5% ahead of last year. We're about $31,000. Real estate, general fund, we're about 11% ahead of last year, or $20,000. General fund revenues year-to-date are up 9.9%, or $113,000. But some of this is a period of time where we weren't collecting money for garbage last year, and now we are. So that's not totally apples to apples. Our general fund balance is $936,000, which is $233,000 less than last year due to payment of some projects that started in 17, finished in 18, the biggest being the demo project and the restroom project. Right now, we have appropriated $2.5 million. We have expended $1,481,000, or 58.85% of the budget. So we're running ahead of last year from an expended standpoint in relationship to the appropriation. we are tracking our budget as planned, and hopefully we'll have a new finance director shortly, and we will get busy orienting that person to the new role. That's the end of my report.
All right, do we have anything to report on service and streets?
Nothing to report on that, sir.
Anything on recreation cable TV? All right. Moving on. Old business, ordinance 2018-05-S, second reading, amending section 153.07 of the Greenhills Codified Ordinance regarding special police. Ms. Hermes.
Ordinance number 2018-05-S, amending section 153.07A of the Greenhills Codified Ordinances regarding special police. Whereas section 153.07A of the Greenhills Codified Ordinance identifies special police as having to be part-time positions, thus limiting the ability of the village to hire full-time special police if necessary and in the best interest of the village. Now, therefore, be it ordained by the Council of the Village of Greenhills, Ohio, Section 1, that Section 153.07A of the Village of Greenhills Codified Ordinance is hereby amended as indicated below. 153.07 Special Police A, in addition to the full-time police provided for in Section 153.01, the municipal manager may employ special police as he or she believes necessary in the interest of public safety. Section 2, that this ordinance shall be effective from and after the earliest period allowed by law. I move to adopt this ordinance.
I second it.
Okay, any comments or questions? Hearing none, clerk call the roll.
Ms. Hermes?
Aye.
Mr. Lee?
Aye.
Mr. Dries?
Aye.
Mr. Halter?
Aye.
Ordinance number 2018-05-F passes. The next one's ordinance 2018-06-LNR for second reading.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ordinance 2018-06 LNR, an ordinance enacting and adopting a supplement to the Code of Ordinances for the Village of Greenhills, Ohio. Whereas American Legal Publishing Corporation of Cincinnati has completed the 2018 supplement to the Code of Ordinances of the Village of Greenhills, Ohio, which supplement contains all ordinances of a general and permanent nature enacted since prior supplement to the Code of Green Hills. And whereas American Legal Publishing Corporation has recommended the revision or addition of certain sections of the Code of Ordinances which are based on or make reference to sections of the Ohio Revised Code. And whereas it is the intent of council to accept these updated sections in accordance with the changes of law of the state of Ohio. And whereas it is necessary to provide for the usual daily operation of the municipality, now therefore be it ordained by the Council of the Village of Greenhills, Ohio, Section 1, that the 2018 supplement to the Code of Ordinances of Green Hills as submitted by American Legal Publishing Corporation of Cincinnati, Ohio, be the same as hereby adopted by reference as if set out in its entirety. Section 2, such supplement shall be deemed published as of the day of its adoption and approval by the council, and the clerk of council of Green Hills is hereby authorized and ordered to insert such supplement into the copy of the Code of Ordinances kept on file at the office of the clerk. Section 3, that this ordinance shall be in full force and take effect upon the earliest date allowed by law. Mr. Mayor, I move for the adoption of this ordinance.
Second.
Any comments or questions?
Again, this is just a housekeeping issue that needs to be taken care of relative to changes in Ohio state law to our code.
Clerk call the roll.
Ms. Hermes?
Aye.
Mr. Lee?
Aye.
Mr. Dries?
Aye.
And Mr. Halter?
Aye.
Okay, ordinance 2018-06-LNR passes. New business, ordinance 2018-07-S for first reading.
Yes, I would like to read ordinance number 2018-07-S for the first time by title only, amending section 153.09B of the Greenhills codified ordinances regarding promotional procedures for promotion to police corporal.
Second it?
Okay. All right. Next item is Resolution 2018-24-SNS. And who's going to read that?
I got it. Resolution 2018-24 SNS, resolution authorizing the municipal manager to enter into a contract with Rack and Ballard Excavating, Inc. for paving in conjunction with a water main replacement project. Whereas the Greater Cincinnati Water Works recently sought competitive bids for a water main project that will occur in the village of Greenhills in 2018-2019. And whereas Rack and Ballard, Inc. submitted the lowest and best bid for said project. And whereas Rack and Ballard, Inc. is willing to extend to the village the competitive bid price for paving in order for the village to be able to pave the streets to be impacted by the water main project in their entirety for the most efficient and cost-effective manner. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Village of Greenhills, Ohio, Section 1, that the municipal manager is hereby authorized to enter into a contract with Rack and Ballard, Inc. in the amount of $103,900 for the paving work the village desires to do to the streets to be impacted by the water main project. Section 2, that the finance director is hereby authorized to pay $103,900 to Rack and Ballard, Inc. for said services, said work, and payment to occur in early 2019. Section 3, that this resolution shall be in full force and at the soonest possible date. Mr. Mayor, I move for the adoption of this resolution.
Okay. Second? Do we have a second?
Oh, second.
Okay. Any comments or questions?
I don't know if you want to kind of detail.
Say what streets?
Yeah, street,
Yeah.
yeah. They're to perform surface grind and coarse asphalt on sections of Ireland, Ingram to Junefield, Alona, Ireland to Jennings, Japonica, Jennings to Junedale, and Junefield, Ireland to 300 feet south of Japonica in the spring of 2019.
Okay. Clerk, call the roll.
Ms. Hermes?
Aye.
Mr. Lee?
Aye.
Mr. Dries?
Aye.
And Mr. Halter?
Aye. Okay, Resolution 2018-24-SNS passes. Next one is Resolution 2018-25-SNS.
Well, I'm on a roll. So, Resolution 2018-25 S&S, resolution authorizing assessments on the certain properties in the village of Greenhills. Whereas the village has given proper notice to the owners of certain real property in the village of Greenhills regarding the removal of vegetation, refuge, garbage, and/or debris from the properties listed below. And whereas the owners of said properties did not take action to remedy the violations, and therefore the village of Greenhills contracted to remove vegetation, refuge, garbage, and/or debris, and now seeks to collect said expenses by authorizing the placement of a lien upon the lands and collected as other taxes. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the Village of Greenhills, Ohio, Section 1, that the Village Council hereby certifies that the cost of such labor together with expenses relative thereto be filed and on the return and statement to the Hamilton County Commissioners as an assessment against the properties listed and placed as a lien against the properties by the Auditor of Hamilton County, Ohio, as follows. Description: property 597-0030-0213-00. Address 39 Flounders Lane. Owner, Weichert S. Properties, LLC. cost $129.44, a total of $129.44. Section 2, that all amounts collected as a result of this resolution shall be placed in the general fund of the Village of Green Hills. Section 3, that this resolution shall be effective immediately upon its passage. Mr. Mayor, I move for the adoption of this resolution.
Second.
Okay, been moved and seconded. Any comments or questions? Okay. All right, clerk call the roll.
Ms. Hermes?
Aye.
Mr. Lee?
Aye.
Mr. Dries?
Aye.
And Mr. Holt?
Aye.
Okay, resolution number 2018-25-S&S passes.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to set a public hearing for the discussion of the recommendation of the Greenhills Planning Commission regarding the prohibition of medical marijuana in the Village of Greenhills.
Second.
Should we?
Do we want to pick a date, or?
Are we tied to any sort of time period? Is it 30 days?
No, it's, if I can get it into the next journal, if we would do it maybe at the August council meeting?
Okay.
So August 28th.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, motion carries.
Just as a, I mean, this will give the opportunity for public comments and address council directly on the issue.
August 28th.
August 28th, Tuesday. And that was 6 o'clock?
Do it before the meeting.
6 o'clock then?
Yeah.
6?
So Glenn, our safety committee will be done at 6 that day.
Yes, it will.
Yeah. Okay,
Mr. Mayor, I move to accept the position description for the finance director of the Village of Green Hills.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Did I have ayes now?
Ayes, I'm sorry.
Okay, motion carries. All right, calendar.
National Night Out, August 7th, 6 p.m., Malloy's parking lot, in conjunction with the Park Top. The chief will be cooking us some food. And then Safety Committee will be on August 28th, 5:15, over at 6, so we can have the public hearing at 6 on medical marijuana.
Anything else?
August 27th, Balls and Rules, 9 a.m. And could somebody remind me which day in August is the customer appreciation at the pool?
Oh, that's going to be the last Saturday of the month.
On the 25th?
Yes.
Okay. We may need someone to step in on the hamburgers that day. Okay. So, I was afraid of that.
What's the date? I'm sorry.
The 25th.
August 25th, Member Appreciation Day.
No burgers looking for me. I'm going vegetarian.
Okay. All right, somebody want to make a motion concerning the executive session?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to move to enter into executive session to discuss the purchase or sale of real property.
Second.
Roll call.
Can I make a comment first? The code kind of separates purchase or sale as different purposes. Is there any way you can clarify which one it is?
Yeah, be sale.
Do you intend to sell property by competitive bid, or is there obsolete, unneeded property? It kind of fits into different categories of what we can talk about. Meaning the statute says you can go into executive session to discuss the purchase of real property almost without limitation. If you're discussing the sale of real property,
Yes.
you have to be intending to sell the property by competitive bid,
or you have to intend to be selling obsolete or unneeded property per a certain statute for selling those items. And I have no idea what the executive session would be, so
Sure.
I don't have an idea in my head what it is.
Is he wanting us to say out loud?
Are you wanting us to answer out loud?
Well, or it needs to be, the motion needs to be reworded to kind of clarify what it's for. I just have no idea what it's for.
For the sale of property?
For the sale of property,
Real property.
it's real property.
It's real estate?
That's
You're out of order.
It's real property.
And if it's regarding the competitive, it's been on the market, it's been, had signs in front of it for a long time, so if that constitutes competitive, which I guess it would. If you're wanting us to add that portion?
I guess I personally don't know enough about it to know what it is, but the statute says you can go into executive session to consider the sale of real property by competitive bid, and if council believes that revealing the information could be adverse to the public interest.
It would be adverse to the public interest at this time.
Okay.
So it would be by competitive bid, the sale of real property.
Okay. But I think that's sufficient to amend your motion to include sale by competitive bid. It would be adverse to the public interest to disclose the information.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. We have a second on that version?
Someone's got to make a second because it's my motion.
I seconded that
Oh, okay,
a while,
okay.
didn't I?
So,
Okay.
roll call.
Forget.
Roll call.
Ms. Hermes?
Aye.
Mr. Lee?
Aye.
Mr. Drees?
Aye.
And Mr. Halter?
Aye. And we will adjourn after the executive session, and no action will be taken on anything. Take a little break, reconvene.